Welcome into this Monday edition. Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. Talk a bit of baseball as Ole Miss falls in its series in Starkville again. Rebels still since 2014. Since they have won a series at Duty Noble Field. They win the first game, doubleheader on Friday, and then get backhanded by the Bulldogs, including a 6-5 loss on Saturday evening to fall in the series. Rebels 14-13 in the SEC with 1 weekend remaining. That starts Thursday against the Auburn Tigers that set an SEC record for runs scored in a 3-game sweep of South Carolina over the weekend. So with that, some other topics here with you today on a show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi as well, down to the epicenter in Macomb. Got Sweet Daddy stops in most of those locations. They take care of plenty of catering options. If it's just your family, extended family, or a much larger group, corporate even, give them a call. Brisket, pulled pork, a lot of items there for you with Sweet Daddies. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for our friend Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote. Within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. Again, 662-257-1900. Guest joined this week on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
I did one of my favorite things in the last 18 hours is just antagonize Tennessee fans after they do dumb things. And I see now, if you're a Tennessee media member, you ought to make sure you're verified on Twitter and make sure that you have all that revenue thing in place, because you get your mentions hit pretty good. You can run up some impressions, probably make a few bucks there if you cover the Vols. Tennessee did not handle losing 2 out of 3 to Vanderbilt over the weekend very well last night. Caused a bit of a kerfuffle following the final out of the series there, with Vanderbilt winning. Both benches cleared. Had a bit of a. Did you not see this? Yeah.
No.
You're pretty out.
I've been.
So
to say that I've been pretty out of it for 3.5 days would be an understatement.
So rubber game yesterday in Knoxville between the Commodores and Tennessee. First inning, Andrew Fisher hits a home run, comes around, touches home plate, and screams, "This is our effing house" at Vanderbilt. Does that. Then, as the game ends, Vanderbilt strikes out a Tennessee player with maybe the winning run on base, another tying run on base. They're up 2 or 3 runs. And as they are just sort of celebrating, one of the Tennessee players comes across the middle and starts walking toward the Vanderbilt huddle that has formed sort of in the middle of the infield as they're giving their high fives and handshakes. And then one of the coaches for Tennessee kind of tries to pull him back, then says something, and we got a lot of words for him. So both benches ended up being cleared there, and that led to last night. Baseball America had tweeted it out, so I just quote tweeted it and said, "I, for one, am shocked Tennessee didn't handle losing well." That antagonized a lot of Tennessee people, including one champion this morning. Hit me at 1:15 or something, 1:02 a.m. So he was, I'm sure, had a real productive Monday morning coming his way, since he was up and on the Twitter machine at 1:02 a.m. this morning. Dude, you're Y-O-U-R. Dude, you're barely 500 on the season. I think you, just a letter U, can leave the baseball comments to the adults, please. That was Christopher Bailey.
Yeah.
All caps, football time in Tennessee. Lower caps, teacher for special ed kids. Okay. My heroes, VFL, which is Vol for life, I believe.
Yes.
Just win, baby, all caps. And then Sidney Crosby is a little bitch. A lot of variants there. A lot of different. He hit. I got to give you credit. You hit on a lot of different topics in your Twitter bio there on the X machine.
There are a lot of stunningly unhappy people out there.
Oh boy.
Not to get into a whole social conversation, but that's what really strikes you is just how stunningly unhappy people are. Or I could go.
Very angry. Very angry. Yeah.
Having attended now 2 graduations with another one upcoming, I could get on my graduation and everyone would call it a rant. It's not a rant.
Oh, really? You got something?
Oh, a strong graduation observation.
What do you got? Go ahead.
And these apply everywhere. Okay,
Go ahead.
so
yeah.
So Caroline
We
graduated
got time.
over the weekend.
We're just going to talk baseball for 45 minutes.
And on Friday, she graduated. It was really a ceremony more than a graduation. It was
I saw this, yes.
She graduated with honors from the Walton College of Business, and they call it Walton Honors, and they have a separate graduation ceremony for them.
Almost kind of like a pinning without the pin, kind of.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's about 140 kids, and very well done. But here's the thing. Parents were there, and they had a thing at the beginning, and then they, in alphabetical order, would announce each person. And they would say, Joe Smith, Tulsa, Oklahoma. During his time at the university, Joe, whatever.
Sure.
He's graduating summa cum laude or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of that, we would politely applaud for each person. It's very nice. And I caught myself enjoying the procedure, the ceremony.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, it was interesting. Where are these kids from? What did they major in? What all did they do? Were they in a Greek organization? Were they active on campus? What did they do? And then, like with most of them, is going on to work for Tyson or
some company,
or they're going to law school. One person was going to law school. One kid had a job in New York City. Kid was going to work in Chicago, Phoenix. I thought that was interesting. I enjoyed it. And at the end of it, I walked out of that going, that was really nice. That was cool that she was surrounded by kids like that over the course of her college career. That was neat. Left with a very positive feeling. Fast forward to Saturday night.
Narrator, positive feeling did not continue.
Saturday night, and this is just business kids. So it's not the whole university. Because
this is not the convocation. Yeah.
Well, I don't even know that they do that. Like, I don't even know I don't know how all that works. And I'm glad I don't. But Arkansas had to do their business in staggered, okay? So it was marketing and supply chain and a couple other things at 6:30 at night. And this is not about Arkansas, so please save me the Arkansas emails. This is an observation about humanity.
Go ahead.
Just save me the emails. I hate them. They're so stupid. All you talk about is the Thunder in Arkansas. It's just not true. I get those emails twice a week. The person, I guess he was the dean of business, asked at the beginning, hey, hold your applause until the end. It's fair. And the recording thing was pre-done, right? The names,
Oh, they were?
Joseph William Smith.
Oh, it was recorded.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So that,
okay.
I don't know why or how, but it was.
Okay.
I guess to sound right, to get the pronunciations correctly, even though they still mispronounce Caroline's name.
Yeah, Ole Miss, you hand them a card and it has a pronunciation guide under the name on the card, and they read it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. That's mine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, and I won't dive into, I have other observations, but they're not safe, so I won't do them. But with different kids, they'd name the kid, and you'd hear their section of fans, family or whatever, woo, and all that stuff, and screaming, way to go, baby girl, and all that stuff. And you're like, you're ruining this for everyone else.
Whoever's next,
their family doesn't hear their child's name because you're acting like a buffoon. And this happens everywhere. Like the Oxford High School one. This is going to blow me away in a week and a half. They're going to ask the same thing. And they're going to say, if you disrupt, we're going to kick you out. Narrator, they're not kicking anyone out. It's a human thing. People are rude. But I think it's the minority, not a minority, the minority of people are rude.
Oh, it's definitely the minority.
But they ruin it for everyone else, and no one feels like you can say, hey, stop. Yes, it's an accomplishment that your child graduated from college. That's great. But that doesn't give you a license to act like an idiot. Like at the high school thing, you'll hear air horns and stuff. And people will push back and go, well, it's an accomplishment for the kid. Listen, if the biggest accomplishment of your life is graduating high school, you're in deep trouble. Keeping it real. Because at most places, if you have a pulse, they'll push you through to, quote, graduate, end quote.
I guess I'm thinking about it because everybody knows that's going to happen.
Well, there's a fix. You tell people you do it, we're going to run you out of here, and then run somebody out of there on the A's.
Yeah.
That'd fix it.
And it kind of comes back to an earlier topic. People just want to be they're too nice, so they go, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, Randall says Ole Miss parents and friends did not hold their applause on Friday. I don't know why that's so hard. I was able to hold my applause.
Wow, Robert. Certain school I'm a part of holds diplomas if parents act out that way. Happens every year.
Oh.
Nothing like having a transcript held because parents wanted to act like a fool.
Oh, good for
wow.
them. Yeah.
And obviously I know what school you're at. That's interesting.
It's not difficult. Takes a little backbone, but not difficult to go, hey, this behavior you're going to ruin it for everyone. It becomes you take a graduation ceremony, you turn it into a circus.
So how many times did it happen out of what the number in your guess? Fewer than 10? Fewer than 50?
Oh, no.
Fewer than 200?
It became almost constant.
Oh, was it really?
I mean, I could answer your question, but I can't answer your question.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, I mean, definitely not the majority of people, but enough that you're noticing it over and over and over and over.
Oh, you could predict it.
Yeah. And just as bad, yeah. It's the high school level, it's the college level,
It's everywhere. It's not just. It used to just be high schools,
mm-hmm.
and now it's become this thing that you do it in college. You have to make sure that you show your ass.
Was she ready to move on? Upset? She have a good weekend?
Oh, she was fine. She had a good weekend. Okay. She had fun. She starts her full time her big girl job this morning.
Oh, really? Already?
29 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. The process of extricating her from the payroll has begun.
It's like 29 minutes. Are you paid in arrears or do they do it up front? What do we do here? What's the date?
You did fill out that insurance stuff, right? You got that done? Make sure you got that done because that's a debit out of the old account that I wouldn't mind reversing. How's that payday work? When precisely does that work?
2 weeks, month? What are we doing? All right. Oh Lord.
Oh God. No, but she was moving into her place. We were busy. There was a lot of driving, a lot of moving. We'd set up a lot of stuff, and then Caroline's pretty big on TikTok. She did a TikTok where Laura got no credit for her work on said TikTok, and I think
ruffle a feather or three.
I think it ruffled a slight feather. Yeah, a little bit of a little shout out might have been appreciated.
Just reading through the comments there.
From Grind.
Yeah, a little bit of everybody. I'm just kind of yeah. So,
well, they never get completely off the payroll, but the process of extricating certain layers off the payroll is refreshing.
There are a couple of big expenses still potentially out there at some point.
Yeah,
so,
let's not get me in a bad mood thinking about that. That conversation has already started.
Say we sort of engaging Neal's mood a little bit. That might not be the way to turn it this morning for the first commercial break, even before I tell you about cheap cell phones. Some feel-good stuff over the weekend. Tim Oko not only called up, but hit a bomb on Sunday. Timmy was called up on Saturday for the White Sox. Almost had a game, what would have been the game winner in his opening game. Player made a really good play up the middle to stop that. And then yesterday, a 3-run homer. that ended up being the difference in a White Sox victory yesterday. Put them
Yeah, I
up
saw that.
4-1 at the time. Really cool stuff. Cool videos there for Tim. Ole Miss.
I never met him, but I always have heard nothing but great things about him as a person. So I was super happy for him. I mean, I guess he was in the minor leagues for what, 3 years?
Yeah, he was drafted in 22, so just under 3 years.
Yeah,
something like that.
That's probably the way the White Sox sort of drew it up.
He was, and he's older, so you got to move him if you're moving him. He's 26 at this point, I think.
Yeah,
I think Tim's 26.
Was he playing first base or DH?
He played first base at least the first day. I know.
Okay.
I was not watching. I saw highlights. I was not just watching the game yesterday because they called him up. Andrew Vaughn has been awful for the White Sox.
Yeah. A lot of things have been awful for
Fair.
the White Sox, in fairness.
But Vaughn slashing bad. Everything was bad. He had been playing first base for them. I think Vaughn's from Cal, if I have that right. So yeah, he was doing that. Ole Miss has had four players called up in the last 3 weeks now, something like that. So Doug Nikhazy came up, back down. He'll end up getting up into the Guardians bullpen is what the actual plan is for Doug. He was not supposed to start even when he came up. It was a rain out thing. They didn't want to move people off their dates. Hoagland came up and has been really good. Gunner's had 2 good starts now for the A's. He's got real shit. Like it's Gunner always had a very high ceiling. There's no doubt about that. I was talking to Neal about that on the phone last week after he got called up, and Doug was a great college pitcher and has found ways to get outs, and he's a great story and I love him to death. He's one of my top 5 players to ever cover. Gunner always had this super high ceiling once he learned how to pitch. He had all that fame out of high school because he didn't walk a batter his senior year of high school. He only had 6 3-ball counts. But what that showed you was he never had to pitch. He just threw balls by people, and it was a complete mismatch in every way.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to learn to do anything. He has learned how to do things.
He was able to get
the
by.
off-speed stuff and the secondary stuff is sick right now.
And that stuff takes years to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen people criticizing the Ole Miss staff for that. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No.
You guys just don't understand. It's a total professional baseball has a completely different calendar.
And then really happy for Ryan Rollison. Gets called up by the Rockies. God bless him there. But
still an opportunity.
They are 5 games behind the White Sox record at this time last year.
Ooh.
So if that tells you anything about where
a lot of losses.
They are. They fired Bud Black yesterday. Their manager. But Rollison, he threw 1 inning of what was scheduled to be 3 innings, I guess, on Friday. I think Friday's right. And after the first inning, his pitching coach came over and said, "Hey, that's it. Might need you tomorrow." And he thought it was kind of weird. And they told him about 3 innings later that he was going to Denver. So he's also been called up. So that's now 4 Rebels in the last 4 weeks, something like that. Since
off a team that won.
No, Rollison was here. He was a member of that number 1 signing class in 17, but he was a draft-eligible sophomore. So he was drafted the night of the Tennessee Tech debacle, literally during the game.
Okay.
He was the only draft-eligible sophomore. I mean, a month of birthday time kept Ole Miss from in 19 going into that season with a rotation that would have had Rollison, Etheridge, Hoagland, and a bunch of dudes, Nikhazy in that 19 team. Then Elko was an 18 recruit. So, because he struggled in 18 and 19, was popping in 20 when COVID hit, and then had really good 21, 22 seasons.
Gotcha.
For him. And then Nikhazy and Hoagland were both 19 freshmen. COVID took their 20 season away, and then 21.
Elko tore the ACL in 21?
He did.
Okay.
Yes. Missed games and then came back. I'm sorry I mentioned Tennessee Tech again. I apologize. I know it's a difficult subject.
It happened.
It very much happened. Actually, was researching it the other day for something. Was going back through.
Didn't Ethan Roberts play on that Tennessee Tech team?
He did. It was the one. I mean,
he's emerged as a 4A pitcher.
Not
for the Cubs.
Defending. They ended up having multiple draft guys off that team.
Yeah.
They weren't chopped liver.
Yeah,
they were.
Roberts played outfield too, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
so.
He still gets an occasional cup of coffee in the bigs.
Yeah, I'm going there. I'm going to go to the baseball stuff in a minute. I haven't lost what happened there on the field in Texas. I'm going there after the break in a minute. I was just finishing this up first, but yeah,
Oh,
no,
I did got plenty of notifications over the
Oh,
weekend that Missouri was beating Texas A&M.
not once, not twice, 3 times.
Wow, how about those Tigers?
3. We'll get to it in a minute.
That speaks volumes for the Tigers. It really does, because it'd be easy just to phone it in.
And what that spoke volumes about was the Aggies, but we will,
Both. But I'm gonna let's see. You're gonna go negative, and I'm gonna go positive for a moment. Everybody goes, Neal's the jerk.
Oh goodness. Oh, did Horton debut?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but yes.
All right. Mark says Gunner's throwing against the Dodgers on Wednesday, so that'll be his next start. There.
That'll be interesting.
Hair.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably brought that with me, didn't I?
I'm guessing you brought it.
Okay.
Don't get me in trouble. Jeez, I didn't do anything.
Oh God! All right, we're all over the place, but that is
Horton
today.
The Cubs started an opener on Saturday. He threw an inning, and then Horton came in the second, and I think he pitched 4. I think he did okay.
Pitched 5 and got a W. Burninator says.
All right.
Okay, we'll look it up. All right, more baseball in a second. First, summer just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. The spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without taking a sweat or the bank. Save a bod, your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills and unexpected overages. Here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service for Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payment $45 for 3-month 5 GB plan required. New customer offer for the first 3 months only. Full price plan options available. Mint Mobile for details.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Same great names, same great people, same great products. I should say different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, that area, call our friends at Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. We're brought to you by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. Window Hero headed out this way in the next week or two to work on our homes so they can work on yours as well. Get in touch with them, 662-510-7077 or windowhero.com. Oxford locals and Ole Miss families, if you need the dry cleaning and laundry done right, Lapel's Dry Cleaning has you covered. Proudly serving the Oxford community since 2016. Lapel's takes care of everything from suits and formal dresses to comforters and everyday laundry. Even better, they offer free pickup and delivery to make life easier. Just call 662-638-3149 to be added to their pickup and delivery route, or visit them at 3010 Old Taylor Road, right across from the Mark Condominiums. Mention Rebel Grove. Get 50% off your first order. Trust Lapels to keep you looking your best. I will write 10 weekend thoughts, hopefully today. That is the plan. I just did not get to them this weekend. My fault. But when they are published, they'll be brought to you by Andrew Sego, Sego Wealth Management. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. So whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what he can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Also brought to you by Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a 4th-generation jeweler located in the Lamons Jewelry Building, the old Lamons Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, color stones, diamond jewelry, flexible bangles, diamond pendants, earrings, much, much more. They want to be your jeweler at Arnett's. And we're brought to you by the College Corner. They've got autographed footballs, helmets in stock. They've got all the Ole Miss gear that you need for as you start to think about getting ready for the fall, for the football season. 8 home games in the fall, so you'll be up a lot. You want to get all of your gear. You want to get that at the College Corner. They've got one location in Oxford, just off of Sisk in the Oxford Commons. 2 locations in Jackson, and you can also catch them online as well.
I'm having a hard time getting a real clear path, barring a sweep, which is would be unexpected for Ole Miss to be a top 8.
What did Auburn do this weekend?
They scored 46 runs in a sweep of South Carolina. They beat them 24-2 in the opening game of the series, and then they scored whatever the numbers are from there, 11-11, I believe.
Feel sorry for the writers who insist on describing every run.
I saw multiple state people over the weekend that were doing every out on Twitter. Every out. Then I realized why I had some people that I like muted, because I was like, I love you, but no, can't.
I don't love you that much.
Can't see that. Yeah, Ole Miss sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ole Miss would open against the Missouri Tigers in Hoover if it would.
Which is, in all seriousness, not something you'd want to do.
You don't want any part of that shit. No, you don't want to be the 9 because you don't want that RPI hit.
I mean, they're getting
now it doesn't really matter if you're not hosting, because who gives a.
If you fall to a 3, again, the only difference between a 2 and a
probably so.
But in a world where you did, and you're
jersey
not,
color and hitting first,
that's it. For one day, that's it. It impacts one inning of your life.
Because if you win, you'll wear a home color the next day.
Yes,
against the 1,
which makes no sense. But don't start me. Don't start me.
They did rule that the home team can stay in their own dugout throughout the tournament. Common sense in the NCAA. See, there.
I have multiple problems with the baseball tournament.
All right.
One is you play the whole season with 3-game series. Hear me out.
I'm 100% with you. I would run for office with this on the platform. Yes, I know where you're going.
You play the super regionals or best of 3 series, but you play the tournament, the first round, as this 4-team, 3.5-day weird thingy that makes no sense. Add a weekend and just have 3-game tournaments.
2 out of 3s
yes.
to get to Omaha. You would open at home against the 4 seed in a weekend series if you were hosting.
And you would probably win in 2 games.
And then you would play the 2 or the 3 the next weekend in your house.
At your place in a 3-game series.
And then you'd move on to Omaha.
As opposed to this weird thing where
they went symmetrical to Omaha, not symmetrical to the regular season.
I know.
Because there's no way to do Omaha in 3-game sets. So you're playing a tournament at that point.
That's different. Because, frankly, if you get to Omaha,
it's the Final Four.
It's a win.
It's like the Final Four.
Yes.
Just you're there.
It's a win. Nobody at the end of a season goes, well, we made it to Omaha. That sucked. They don't. Yeah, you'll have some people in the media going, oh, you didn't do it again. But for the most part, people remember internally a trip to Omaha as that was a great season.
Yeah.
Nobody looks back on the year that Ole Miss lost to Virginia and goes, that team sucked. They don't.
No.
When that team gets together in a reunion down the road, it will be a happy reunion. Only one of the 8 teams can win the thing.
Mm-hmm.
7 are going to go home with losses. That's just the way the rule works. But the whole 4-team thing where you play a Saturday game, lose, and suddenly you've got to win 17 games in 24 hours. It's dumb, in my opinion. I think I'm right.
You're right. Texas loses 2 out of 3 at home to the Florida Gators over the weekend. Florida getting a couple there.
Florida's playing better, and Texas has some injuries.
Yeah, Florida's up to 13-14 in the league right now.
I would not want to get Florida
as my 3 seed
in a regional. Somebody's going to look up at that and go, damn it.
Arkansas 18-9 after losing 2 out of 3 in Baton Rouge over the weekend. LSU moving to 17-10 after winning 2 out of 3. Gutsy effort from the Hogs yesterday to get one, not get swept out of there, get back home.
Well, the game on Friday, and I know this because I went to a
bar.
I went to a bar to watch Thunder late Friday night. And the Arkansas LSU game started that night at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because when the Thunder Nuggets game ended, there was a hockey game that was going on at the same time that had just ended. And Arkansas and LSU were in like the 6th inning.
Mm-hmm.
I think that ended up being a 10-inning game.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Both those teams are hosting. They're fine.
Yeah.
Georgia falls 2 out of 3 at Alabama over the weekend. Bama lost the first one, came back, won the next 2. Bama's in really good shape. Their RPI is great. I think it's like 12, 11. They're 15 and 12 in the league. They're 2 out of 3 from hosting for sure. This weekend, I don't even know who they play. We'll look at it later. Probably tomorrow. I don't care today. Vanderbilt gets those 2 out of 3 against Tennessee. They're 16 and 11. They're in great shape to host in Nashville.
He's done a really good job this year.
Auburn only needs, frankly, 0 to host, in my opinion. They're a 16 and 14 host, so they've locked up a regional at Plainsman Park, but 2 against Ole Miss, and they're a top 8 for sure. 1 against Ole Miss, and they still might be a top 8 because of that RPI.
Yeah.
It's sitting where it is right now. Tennessee falls to Vanderbilt those 2 games, 15 and 12. They got to go to Fayetteville and win a series to host. So they have lost 5 of the last 6 series, with Ole Miss being the one.
Not the recipe you'd want.
Not playing well. Close
Probably
games, getting them.
Probably a whole lot of people around the league cheering for the Hogs.
Oh, all the Hogs.
Yeah.
Now, again, though, when we look at other teams, you don't want to look up and see Tennessee as your 2. Probably.
I'd rather see them than Florida.
Would you? Okay.
Yeah.
Florida's been white hot since leaving Oxford. They've been good.
Florida pitches it better than Tennessee pitches it.
Kentucky sweeps Oklahoma over the weekend. Kentucky gets all 3 of them.
Not surprised.
Against the Sooners. Both those teams 13 and 14 in the SEC right now. Texas A&M 10 and 17 and night. It is done for the Aggies.
Ball game.
Even at 13, which is not going to happen, but even at 13, they have no shot.
Who do they have, LSU this weekend?
I think it is LSU.
I think so too.
Is that right?
I'm not positive, but for some reason that sounds right.
They dropped 17 spots in the RPI even after the first loss to Missouri on Friday.
But again, shout out to Mizzou, right? Seriously.
A&M's RPI is 59.
Yeah,
it went from 34 to 59 in one weekend.
Well, they lost 3 home games to Mizzou. But shout out to Mizzou. Because you could,
in all credit.
You could have easily quit, and they didn't. And that says something about the people inside that program.
No, Texas A&M is at Georgia.
Oh, same difference.
Okay, whatever. Good enough. It's fine.
I mean, whatever. I mean, there are about 5 teams in the league that you can toss them in a hat and go whatever. They're all
in the
good.
First game of the series. I'm getting to Ole Miss and State, guys. I'm getting everything else out of the way because I'm going to stay there for a minute. In the first game of the series, the guy that got the last out from Missouri, you know where he pitched last year?
I don't.
Texas A&M.
Oh,
so he's back at home.
But that felt good.
Got the last out there.
Satisfying.
No, I was proud for Missouri. They played really damn well. Like, in all honesty, they played well.
Well, they played okay against Georgia the week before. They just couldn't quite
get it done.
Georgia's better than A&M.
Look, A&M, I don't know what's going to happen. And I keep always, how do you pronounce the kid that got hurt's name for A&M earlier in the year, the third baseman? Whatever. Him. Hell of a player. Hell of a hitter. But, like, I think it was even this week, his dad getting on Twitter and going, all the players will stay if you'll keep the coach. They hired a coach to put a roster together, and you never do that. That is the sin of all sins, to hire a coach to make sure the roster doesn't leave. That's what A&M did. They hired the assistant because they were so scared of everybody jumping in the portal.
You got to hire the guy you believe in.
You got to
whatever that means.
Hire the dude that's the dude, however you want to do it. And A&M is in a world of a weird spot right now. They're going to be the first preseason number 1 to miss the NCAA tournament since 1991 when Arizona State did it. I guess they could go to Hoover and win the tournament, but my odds are not very good for that to grab an automatic bid.
I wouldn't think.
They are 27 and 23 overall.
A tournament's going to be really weird. It's going to be a really weird tournament Because a handful of these teams that have nothing to play for have real decisions to make with pitching. And usually it's double elimination for those teams. And so they'd be like, well, if we lose the first one, we'll win the next day, and then we'll kind of figure it out. Now, it's if you lose this one, you're going home, which might be good. I mean, if you're Jim Schlossnagle, do you really want to be in Hoover very long?
Not even a little bit.
I kind of want to get my team healthy.
Need to get healthy, need to get home.
Yeah.
Texas bothers me by having an all-turf infield that's just green in the base pass and not brown or not dirt.
Yeah.
I just noticed that when I was watching Florida and Texas over the weekend that it bothers me to some degree. That's all. Who did I mention? South Carolina. Ooh. I mean, do you fire Paul Maneri after one season?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks lifeless.
You know my philosophy on this. I would fire the guy at A&M, and I would fire the guy at South Carolina because it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And it's very clear it doesn't work.
Yes.
It's not a question of, well, maybe.
So what makes you think it's going to suddenly work? I would not fire the guy at Missouri because you knew what you were getting. You knew what he was getting. You knew. They actually showed some signs of life there.
They played well. They really did. They played well. They pitched well enough. They threw a lot of strikes because A&M will kind of press you if you start walking them now, and they didn't do that. Missouri was able to kind of keep it between the lines a little bit. They were good. Final weekend. I guess we'll do this quickly. We'll go into more detail later in the week.
Okay.
But Auburn at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is out of the hosting conversation, barring a sweep. I'll get to Ole Miss State in a minute, but 16 is not enough. My opinion. Feel free.
Ole Miss is 14-13 right now.
They are. I don't think 16 is enough for Ole Miss.
Okay.
My opinion.
You would know better than me.
They have hosted.
Better than I. I'm sorry, Mom. You would know better than I.
They would.
Because the sentence would be you would know better than I would know.
Yes. They have hosted at 16 before, but I just don't think that's where we are right now, all the way around. I just don't quite think so.
Yeah.
Texas A&M at Georgia. Georgia's going to host. A&M's done. Alabama and Florida. Alabama can host with, I think, two wins, maybe one win.
At Florida?
At Florida. Whew. You'd hate to be down there having to get them, but
Bama's good, though.
Florida's 13-14. They're in the tournament. They're going to get in. Even at 13-17, they're in, and they're not getting swept at home this weekend, I don't think. Kentucky and Vanderbilt. I think Kentucky needs one to be sure they get in the tournament. I think they get in at 14-16. I do not think they get in at 13-17.
Be close.
Yeah.
I think they get one in Nashville, but Vandy's good, man.
Vandy's a host with one win this weekend, in my opinion.
Okay.
LSU and South Carolina. LSU's going to host. Carolina's done. State in Missouri.
LSU's going to get to 20 wins.
State can get to 15-15.
Yeah.
After starting 1-9 in the SEC. Credit, in all seriousness, I'm going to get to Ole Miss in a minute.
I know.
Credit to the Bulldogs. They have played pretty damn good baseball for 6 weeks now.
Yeah. When they had excuses to just kind of, throw this baby in. They didn't. They played hard.
The Red River rivalry happens in baseball. Texas and Oklahoma.
Is that in Norman?
That is in Norman. Oklahoma needs one probably to make sure they get in.
What's Texas now? They're at 20?
20-7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as Ryan says, Texas is going to win the league in baseball, and
it's almost like they have a really big brand.
Yeah.
And that they're good in everything.
And then Tennessee at Arkansas. Arkansas is hosting for sure. Tennessee, I think, needs 2 to host, my opinion.
You talk about contrasting styles and 2 people that work together.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You watch Arkansas play and you watch Tennessee play, and I'm not sure that they really play the same sport.
No. One just kind of plods along.
And Vitello worked for Van Horn for
a long time.
And has positioned himself where people up there who for the longest time he would have been the shoe-in to be the guy. I don't know if that's the case anymore.
So State, they get swept by Texas to open the league. They lose 2 out of 3 to Oklahoma. They get swept by LSU. And then they lose the first game to South Carolina on April the 4th. Since then, win 2 against Carolina, take 2 out of 3 from Alabama, lose 2 out of 3 to Florida, lose 2 out of 3 to Auburn, but then sweep Kentucky and win 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss. They played pretty good. Been all right.
Yeah.
Avoided they frankly gave away games against the Gators, and then at least got one there against Auburn. I don't see any way State promotes Justin Parker. I keep seeing State fans worried about that. I do not believe State's going to promote an interim no matter what he does. I think he could go to Omaha and win 2 games and not get the job.
Well, again, we go back to the same thing.
I don't know anything on the search, but they're going to make Brian O'Connor say no about 7 million times before they go from there.
You have to hire the person that you believe is the best person for your program, not to hold a team together or to reward some sense of, hey, we got going, or none of that.
So I'm going to talk about Ole Miss a little more right after this next break, and we're going to break in a second, but setting them up from a metric standpoint before I have that conversation, Ole Miss 34-17, 14-13 in the SEC. They play UT Martin on Tuesday.
Technically 15-14 in the SEC because of the 2 weird games, right? They beat Mississippi State in a midweek and lost to Texas.
Correct. Yeah. Yes, from what the committee will get on a team sheet in front of them standpoint, they are 15-14.
Okay.
With a win in the Governor's Cup neutral site and a loss to Texas neutral site in Arlington.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's a neutral site. There is a chance the committee, from an RPI standpoint, sees that Texas game as an home alternate for Texas.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just merely throwing that out there that it doesn't matter. But sometimes that happens, is they determine that a game is a home alternate site, not a neutral site game. RPI for Ole Miss as of this morning is 18 or 19, depending on where you want to look.
Okay.
So in good shape from an RPI standpoint relative to where they could be right now at 14-13. Auburn has the number 2 RPI in the country. So you get 3 prime opportunities against the Tigers Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, if you're Ole Miss and you think I'm wrong, go get to 16, get an RPI that moves up to 16, 15 maybe, and then go to Hoover and win 2, and maybe. Hoover typically doesn't matter, but okay. I mean, get out of the Missouri game, get the hell out of that 9 spot, wherever you go for that. Again, remember, in Hoover, 9 through 16 plays day 1, 1 through 8 picks up the next day.
Right.
You do not play the first day in Hoover, which is Tuesday, if you're a top 8 seed.
As of today, Ole Miss would play Tuesday.
They would play Missouri
on Tuesday.
And if they won, they turn around and play Tennessee on Wednesday.
Okay.
Today, that's what they would do. UT Martin has an RPI of 229.
Wait, to correct you.
No, yeah, that's not right.
On Wednesday, 5 through 8 join and play the winners of the 9 through 16 games. The 1
Is that right? Yeah.
The 1
you're
through
right.
4.
Yeah.
1 through 4 get a double bye to Thursday.
You're correct. Yes, that's correct. I forgot that.
It's okay. It's a new thing.
It's like the basketball. It's the exact basketball bracket.
Right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. UT Martin, 229. Really don't need to play that game, but you have no choice. So, I don't know.
I mean,
you had a rain out on Selah, who's like 57 in the RPI.
I mean, for a fee, I can put together a group to break in and turn on the sprinklers.
You're saying there is a path.
There's a way.
Is the NCAA going to frown upon that?
What do? Just someone broke in.
They sent a strongly worded letter saying we are not canceling games against lesser RPI teams this year. It will be held accountable.
Well, I mean,
they said that.
Look, I don't know what you're supposed to do when a group of heathens break into your stadium and turn on the water sprinklers overnight.
The cameras just so happened to be off for that 9 minutes.
It happens.
There was power outage.
There's a power outage.
Surge protector wasn't very good.
Someone unplugged the Wi-Fi. What do you do?
It was a scheme.
What do you do?
They stole some stuff.
I mean, Jeffrey Epstein hung himself at the time that the cameras didn't work. You're telling me that you don't think you could somehow turn off the cameras at Swayze for 20 minutes on a random Monday night? Chase.
I didn't see that connection coming.
Well, there you go. Alas.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the Rebels in a second. First, podcast brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. Spring sports are underway. Football selection times have hit those inboxes. Ole Miss Athletics Foundation is running the Points in the SIP campaign till the end of the month. Qualifying donations of at least $5,000 made to Ole Miss Athletics Foundation and the Vol Society will be included in the bonus point program for 2 or 3 times the usual amount. So if you want to get your priority points up, perfect time to do it. Call the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation at 662-915-7159 to learn more, or give to athletics.com.
We're brought to you by Argent Wealth. Based in Ridgeland, Mississippi, they got clients in more than 20 states. Argent provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Argent will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's myargentwealth.com. Brought to you by our friend John Edwards at Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you are trying to put together a summer trip, maybe a holiday trip, to create a lifetime of unique memories, you want it to be special, that means you need to get in touch with our friend John Edwards. Give him a budget, give him some parameters. He will help you come up with options that you will not find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. And we're brought to you by Parrish Brewing Company, located in Cajun country right there in Broussard, Louisiana. Their simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they're very, very good at it. They've got Dr. Juice, which is perfect for this time of year. It's a go-to IPA, highly crushable juice bomb, 6% ABV, just a fantastic beer. Ghost in the Machine, a double IPA. I think it's their very best brew, but you're free to try others and see what you think as well. They've got Envy, Canebrake, and more at Parrish Brewing Company. So look for Parrish wherever you look for beer.
Podcast brought to you by AnySpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available, whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends. They offer both residential business packages with speeds of 2 gigabits. That's up from 1 gigabit. To learn more, register for service. That's AnySpark.com. AnySpark, get connected. Stay local. Day 14 of testimony in the Karen Reed murder retrial.
Oh, yeah.
Headed our way.
Oh, yeah. I had it on in the hotel room on Friday morning, and Laura's like, I don't get it. I don't know why you're so obsessed with this. And I'm like, it's
here.
What do you mean you don't get it? I mean, what is there not to get?
Okay. Rebels 34-17, 14-13 again. I have thought for a while they needed 17. We'll see. They are safely in the NCAA tournament. I think they can get swept and make the tournament.
Absolutely. They're in the tournament. They're in the tournament.
They might have a 3 next to their name if they went to hell in a handbasket the rest of the way.
They're in the tournament. Period.
We've played a lot of games, and as we mentioned a lot of times, the great philosopher Andrew Kennedy, you are what your numbers say you are, and that is who they are right now.
That usually holds true.
They are a team that has played fairly well at times, a team that has shown some toughness at times, and they're a team with a lot of flaws. They're not overly consistent. I do think their veteran presence has really helped them kind of reach where they are. And look, don't blow a coronary. Had told a lot of you guys in February, 14-13 in the SEC going into the last weekend, you would have taken it because it would have gotten them back into the tournament. So they hit their first goal. But I don't think it tells the full story of kind of who they are, because they've been a team that has changed a lot as the season has gone on. And I think that's part of what is frustrating for the fan base. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here. But early in the season, they were a team that was winning some games with offense. They were finding ways to score a lot of late runs. They were outscoring opponents. They were generating things from a home run standpoint, and they were kind of surviving their pitching, which was really struggling. I mean, Ole Miss, we had all those pitching stats through about halfway through conference play, maybe a little less than that. Pitching's frankly been good enough. They've had no pitching issues the last few weeks. They only allowed 10 runs against Oklahoma and lost the series. That's not good. Against Mississippi State, I thought they pitched well enough to win the series. They get beat 4-1 in game 2. You have to win that game. You got to find a way to score. We can get into what Evan Sierra did or did not do, but for the most part, they pitched well enough to win. They're getting into what affected Ole Miss a lot in 2022, honestly, which was the offense is doing so little. There's so much magnification on the other side to be perfect at times, because you have one inning and you sit and you go, well, I mean, Hunter walked that guy and they allowed 2 runs. It's like, okay, but the margin is so low right here because of what you're not doing on the other
we
side.
throw in college pitching and college umpiring, which is
horrific.
I mean, so bad. And I mean, I guess I could. If I did 10 thoughts on like grievances, college umpiring,
it's awful,
would be one of my grievances. I don't know how a college pitcher goes into a game with, I'm not talking about the great ones, but your good college pitcher with a game plan, because you don't know from inning to inning what the zone's going to be. And I'm not talking about a missed call and a narrow call. I'm talking about a pitch getting 2/3 of the plate getting called a ball.
And then a ball on the chalk.
Followed by a pitch that literally almost is in the opposite batter's box getting a strike, and you're the hitter going, what am I supposed to do with that? Anyway, sorry.
So I wrote a pseudo column after Friday's game. I'm going to get this right. Almost played a doubleheader on Friday and one game on Saturday.
Yes.
After changing the game time for Saturday like 9 times. It was driving me insane around 10:15 on
Turns
Friday
out they
night.
could have played yesterday, right?
Yeah, I guess. But
okay. Anyway.
So Ole Miss is completely home run dependent as an offense for the most part. They hit a ton of home runs. They walk a lot, but it's kind of misleading as far as how they work the count to do that. They've had a couple series that have been really high in walk totals when pitchers have just bombed. They do not move the baseball, and I've been talking about it for weeks. I'm a little bit of a broken record, but they don't just put the damn thing in play.
Right.
Let defenses make errors. It's college baseball. Everything is about launch angles in today's world, and Ole Miss is sort of the epitome of that. In the first game, they hit 4 home runs, I believe, torched State 10-4. We're hitting the ball out of the yard, and it looked incredible. It looked awesome. Looked like you're about to go roll everybody. And then Evan Sierra, the pitcher for Mississippi State, has a career day, strikes out 15 in 8 innings on Friday night. He had a 6 ERA in conference play coming in, and did not have more than 5 strikeouts in a game coming in to the game. And
so, I mean, A, good for him, but B, that says something about you.
You didn't take any pitches at all. I know he was getting ahead, and I understand people yelling at their computer going, well, if he's getting ahead, just hit the pitch. It's like, okay, but at some point, you got to make him throw a pitch. Like, occasionally, he has to throw an extra pitch. And he was basically fastball, curveball from a weird angle. They got eaten alive by the curveball trying to swing through it and pull it. You cannot pull a curveball that's breaking away from you. It is impossible.
Right.
And they tried to pull it and tried to pull it and
tried
to pull it
over. It's a ground ball to the left side every time.
Or you just miss it.
Yeah.
And then it allowed that 91-mile-an-hour fastball to look like it was coming in at 104 because of what you were doing with the curveball. So now he was throwing a 91-mile-an-hour fastball by you too.
Yeah.
It was horrid. So he was great. He was as good as he could have been. You helped him a lot. You were trying to hit the home run ball, didn't do it, got beat 4-1. And then you lose 6-5 in the final where you fight back. State's up you lose 6-5. You were down 6-1, scored 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and then got the first 2 guys on in the 9th and did not score to tie the game. State gave you 12 free passes, and you got beat 6-5. Ole Miss only had 6 hits. Luke Hill had 3 of those. He's now reached base in 36 or 37 straight games. Luke's been good. He's also Ole Miss's Ferris Award recipient for the year, or nominee. The approach doesn't work for college baseball. And when I say approach, I don't know. Is it lineup construction? Is it approach? You can talk about the different ways that it is impacting, but to be a consistent offensive baseball team at the college level, you cannot strike out and be so home run dependent. You just can't. It doesn't work because they're like 12th in doubles. It's not like they're hitting the ball in the gap too. No, they're either running it out of the yard or they're not doing shit.
Right.
And that's where they're sitting right now, and it does not work. It's what worries you as you look ahead, because the goal was to get back into the postseason and see if you could make a run, is to win 3 or 4 in a row. You've got to hit with a different level of accomplishment than they're currently doing right now.
Because you're probably going to have to win an offense game somewhere in the postseason.
And it's why they don't hit aces very well. And I get nobody hits them great because that's why they're aces. But
Right.
the most part, it's why that aces really get after you because they're not helping you. They're not throwing the ball all over the zone, and they're keeping the ball in the yard, and then it just kind of sits there at that point. Their defense has started faltering in the last couple weeks. They made 3 errors yesterday, Saturday. That led to 2 earned runs in a game you lost by a run. They have gotten fortunate. Austin Foley has turned into an offensive weapon for Ole Miss, a guy that was coming in as your backup catcher who you didn't expect to hit at all, and suddenly he's raking. They just kind of are what they are. I don't think they've maxed out
50,
by any means.
51 games into the season. Is that right?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At this point, you sort of are what you are.
Joel Mangram's done a hell of a job. They're still developing by the day.
Mm-hmm.
Elliott's been really good lately. Maddox has been good enough to win. They're trying to struggle on what to do with Nichols or not to do with Nichols or how to handle Morris at this point. Kind of the worst case scenario happened with Morris on Friday. He started warming up at a 2-2 game.
This is the part that non-baseball people don't get.
Started warming up when it was 2-2.
Yep. He got hot.
Sat down for a minute, started throwing again at like 3-2 or whatever.
And at that point, you're basically pitching. Yeah. You're up. You're warm. You're basically, whether you throw no pitches or 30 pitches, you've basically worked that night. And so at that point, you might as well bring him in.
Your options at that point, or do I bring him in just to bring him in for an inning or so and then go, okay, can he bounce back tomorrow?
Right. Because you're not playing Sunday. You're playing.
And I don't know if Ole Miss knew. I would love, and I need to ask this question. I don't know if Mike managed that game expecting to play on Saturday or Sunday.
Right.
Because they were moving the thing around so much. I don't know that he even knew the answer to that. If you think he can play again in the series, you bring him in because he's already hot, but then you get him the hell out of there. You're up 6, up 8, whatever.
Yeah.
Let somebody else throw the 8th and the 9th. Instead, Ole Miss burned Morris and McCausland in what ended up being a 10-4 game.
Right.
And being unable to kind of piece that together later in
But when he got him up, it was 2-2.
Yes.
And so it made sense to get him up there because
even at 3-2.
Yeah, because you're trying to win the game.
Yeah.
And they did ultimately win the game. It's complicated.
I mean, I think Kendrick is right to a point. I do think Ole Miss was managing to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were told at the time.
Right.
When they walked in the dugout on Friday, they had sent a release out saying doubleheader on Friday, day off on Saturday, single game on Sunday.
And then what changed?
It's a guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I think the SEC said, hey, look, you have to at least try to play tomorrow. You can't just take a day off for no reason. So see what you can do. And then if you can't play, then okay on Sunday. Because I noticed they sent out the releases, but then both schools deleted their tweets that had that in it. And then we went into pause. David Kellum on the radio after the game was still saying a normally scheduled time on Saturday was coming. So he had not been told anything different than Saturday at normal time at that point. And then about an hour later, they put out, we're going to play normal day, but we're going to move it to 7 o'clock at night, not 2 or 1 or whatever it was.
And was that to avoid weather or was that to give guys rest?
To avoid weather is what it looked like. The 7 o'clock thing, it looked like that was weather related because the forecast definitely changed as time went on. But yeah, I mean, again, to the point, in a vacuum of just how to manage the game, Mike did not really do anything wrong because he got Morris up and you're in a weird spot.
Agreed.
It just is what it is.
Yep.
You keep getting into these weird spots because you're not just starting your best pitcher. That's the other side of it.
I'm asking. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not there. Are they not starting him because at the end of the day they're not convinced they can get more than 4 out of him?
And I do think that's possible.
And they don't know what they do after those 4?
Because then you would need Nichols to turn into a 1 to 2 to 3 inning bullpen presence, which he was as a freshman, but we haven't seen it since then.
Because look, here's the thing. If in a world, forget the Auburn series coming up. Let's just say they don't host and they're a 2 someplace. For them to win a regional, They cannot lose on Friday.
No.
So you have to win that game. And then you have to hope that Nichols or someone gives you, and they've pitched pretty well here lately, gives you one of those career
Riley
days.
has the chance to go throw 6 and give up 2 runs.
Right.
I mean, it's very doable.
Yeah.
He's done it.
You have to hope that Riley Maddox goes and gives you kind of a career day on a Saturday against a 1. Frankly, from a league, it's going to be a league that's inferior to the one that you played in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be Texas or LSU
or
Arkansas or Florida or Vanderbilt. You're not playing one of those teams.
No.
So but you got to win the Friday game. And Hunter, if he gives you 5, 5 1/3, 5 2/3 here lately, that's his ceiling. And it's a 1-run game or a 2-run game. Yeah, you go do what you've done all year. You need to win that game. And I realize that burns Morris for Saturday. But in a world where you played on Monday, he could maybe come back and pitch Monday.
And I think that's different than a weekend. I think you have to go into a weekend trying to win a series, and that is different than going into a tournament trying to win a tournament.
And for Ole Miss to win a series, they almost have to win the Friday game.
Yeah.
My observation.
Yeah, sure.
And all I've seen is what I've watched. But I've watched Ole Miss a lot. I've watched Ole Miss more than I've watched anybody else. They have to win the Friday game.
I don't know why Isaac Humphrey looks so bad bunting the baseball in the 9th inning on Saturday. He actually led Louisville in sacrifice bunts his freshman year and his sophomore year. I looked it up. And then last year for Louisville, he had 0 sacrifices. And this year for Ole Miss, he only has 1. It's like he went from bunting all the time to never bunting at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. No clue.
You know where I stand on this.
You wouldn't have done it.
I don't bunt.
Well, because if you bunt them over, I think that, again, you're doing they would have been pitched the same way, which they would have not. It changes everything. But the way the game played out would not have scored a run because you had a walk and a double play ball right after that. But the point stands, if you just start putting the freaking ball in play, you move the runners, you score a run.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Make people play defense.
And they don't. They don't make anybody play defense.
No, when you have 15 strikeouts, you are taking a lot of defensive load off the other team.
And again, you're fly ball dependent too. So even the balls in play
or up in the air,
you're not doing anything with them. Yeah. I mean, it's the fatal flaw for this team. It's not really on the mound right now. Oh, that's good.
What's up?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, fun.
I mean, no, it's fine.
Okay.
It's nothing that's a huge problem. Yeah, Ole Miss is 4th in runs scored and 3rd in home runs in SEC play, but tied with Missouri for 2nd in most strikeouts and 9th in overall games and batting average. They walked the 3rd most, but they hit into the 4th most double plays. Like it's a weird offense for Ole Miss. Wasn't managed completely well, but the margins are so low right now on how to get through a weekend.
I just think Ole Miss is one of the, and I think there's a lot of these teams. We talk about Ole Miss here because this is an Ole Miss-centric podcast, but I think Ole Miss is one of several teams that have a lot of variance in the postseason. If you told me Ole Miss got run out of a regional pretty quickly, I would buy it. If you told me Ole Miss is playing game 3 of a super regional, trying to piece together a plan of attack to beat a really good team, probably another SEC team, I would totally buy it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I would, and anything in between.
Yeah, no, I'm reading this here. The Ole Miss does not suck. It's not a bad baseball team.
No.
They're a good baseball team.
They're good. They're not average. They're good.
They're good. But
they're not great.
And you play great, and you play elite, and you play above average.
You play in a very difficult league that has a lot of elite in it.
Yes.
And even some of the average teams have elite players on their teams.
Yeah, I am sitting in – I'm kind of Switzerland here. I get why you guys are pissed because they've wasted a lot of opportunities.
Sure.
They've also wasted a lot of opportunities because they're just not quite good enough.
Yes.
There's a reason.
It's like I saw.
Where in hindsight, you go, well, if you just thrown this guy right here and this, it's kind of like the bunt thing. It's like if I had Ole Miss not bunted, and again, this is in defending Mike, whatever, do whatever you want.
And he hits into a double play.
Or even
strikes out.
If he does, where my point is, when it doesn't work out, you go, well, had you just bunted, you're assuming the bunt would have gotten down. You always assume the hypothetical of it was going to go perfect had you just done the other thing.
Right.
Well, it's like Mason started getting hit around a little bit, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, if he came in a one-run game, they'd be kind of screwed right now, honestly.
Yeah.
He's getting
Yeah.
getting beat up.
Well, look,
McCausland has been their best reliever the last 3 weeks.
all right, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the guy for a minute.
All right.
This pitching coach from Cleveland who came in, whose name is escaping me.
Joel Mangrum.
Mangrum, thank you. You don't think maybe he watches pitchers and gets a little feel for maybe we're getting a little fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe right now we're on a wall a little bit. Maybe that's a reason. Maybe the reason that he's not starting might be Anko's stubbornness, but because they look at it and go, well, now's not the best time for him to get all day long geeked up. Because there's a difference starting mentally and not knowing, hey, get a call, get warm, you're coming in. There's a big difference between spending all day Saturday going, I'm starting at 4 o'clock or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't feel like comfortable with him second time through a lineup right now. Maybe there's something else to it than just I'm digging my heels in the ground. Because frankly, Mangrum's presence in Oxford shows that Mike has backed off that mentality.
No, I think they've done a really good job bringing guys along, saving arms. I think they develop people as the season has played out, which is very hard to do because you're trying to win and develop at the same time.
Very difficult.
The only negative I have with any of their pitching plans is I've heard Mike say multiple times, hey, we might not should have done that, but that was the plan. It's like, well, get the hell away from the plan.
Right.
That's my only...
But they're probably one of many teams that fall into that trap.
Where you go, well, we said we're throwing him in the 8, so we threw him in the 8.
You have a plan, and
yeah,
coaches don't like variance, and it's part of the game. And again, I'll say that about Ole Miss. I mean, I don't know what will happen this weekend. I'm not sure particularly that it matters unless there's a sweep Ole Miss's way. I've watched this team a bunch, and I watched a bunch of other teams, and they are perfectly capable of going to an ACC school and winning that regional. Doesn't mean they will, but they're capable. And then they'd probably go to Texas or LSU or something for a weekend, and we'll see. I would bet against them, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just telling you. I think they're one of those teams because they have the pitching to potentially get them through a weekend. Now they got to hit.
Yes.
You got to play clean defense. You got to hit. Got to have some timely hits.
And take your blood pressure medicine. No matter what happens the rest of the way, Mike Bianco is not getting fired.
Nor should he.
So stop.
Number one, nor should he. Number two, in today's financial environment,
$4.72 million, I think, is the exact number.
With all of the uncertainty about what's coming in college athletics, you're going to fire a coach who made the tournament, who's 3 years removed from an NCAA title. Are you stupid? At a stadium that's full, that's making money? Are you stupid?
Yeah, they're back in the tournament.
I mean, my reaction to that decision would be, y'all are idiots.
This roster's about where it should be right now. Maybe a game off, but pretty much right there.
I'm not going to move the goalpost.
Yeah.
After 2 bad seasons, the whole thing was, hey, you got to make the tournament. Well, they did.
They're back in. Yeah.
And to turn around and go, this team sucks. No, it didn't.
Mm.
No, if they make the tournament as a 2 seed, go to a regional and don't get out, that was sort of, this is the baseline expectation. Well, they achieved it.
You're right. Podcast brought to you by the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom, located on the Ole Miss campus. They aim to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies, scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students, and bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Steven Skoltetti or Rankin Sherling at freedom@olemmiss.edu or visit independence.olemmiss.edu.
I'll have a mailbag up at Rebel Grove on Wednesday. It'll be brought to you by my friend Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Congratulations to Art's son graduating college this weekend. Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you as a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss. Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously, so call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and offer MedSync. Fill prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it with G&M. So again, that is Tyson Drugs or G&M, 662-236-2222. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of a around the horn. Last few things going on. I thought of you yesterday, Neal. You do not accept University of Louisiana's UL moniker, that they should be ULL.
They legally have to be ULL.
They got swept in Hattiesburg over the weekend by Southern Miss. Southern Miss's Twitter account put 3 brooms and said, "Why don't you just spell it with 3 L's from now on?"
I like that.
That was pretty good right there from the Golden Eagles.
Just felt a little something for USM baseball. It tingled.
Yeah, just a little.
Thank you.
Little shot at the Cajuns there from the Golden Eagles.
Go Eagles.
They are red hot, by the way.
Good.
Southern Miss winning a lot of baseball games.
Been a pretty good program for a while.
Damn good. Ostrander's really good. They elevated the pitching coach.
Been a pretty good program for a while.
Southern has won 12 in a row, and they visit 19th ranked Troy next weekend. So a big game in the Sun Belt.
How about that?
Coming up.
Southern will make the tournament, I presume.
Oh yeah, they're in. They're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, their RPI's 20s, low 30s. I don't know.
How about
something like that.
Yeah. I mean that sincerely. I'm not being flippant. They've had a really nice program for a long time.
Their RPI is 30. 21-6 in the Sun Belt as of right now.
Pretty strong.
Ole Miss softball is a 2 seed in Tucson against Arizona. I think Arizona's the 13 seed, if I have that correct. I have that correct. Ole Miss faces Grand Canyon in the first round. The Antelopes.
When are you leaving for Tucson?
Oh yeah, Thursday. The Antelopes 9:00 Friday night. First pitch there for the Rebels Central for the Rebels and Grand Canyon. Arizona is the 13. If they got out of that, they would most likely be headed to Fayetteville for the Super Regional, as Arkansas is the 4 overall seed.
How many of the top 16 seeds were SEC?
11. Let's see. A&M was not the number 1 overall.
Okay.
So let's see. Regionals are in College Station, Norman, Gainesville, Fayetteville, Tallahassee. So the top 4.
Okay.
5 of the top 6 because Texas is 6.
Okay.
Knoxville, 7. Columbia, L.A., Baton Rouge, Clemson, Lubbock. That's where Mississippi State's at, by the way. They did not host.
Okay.
Tucson, Durham, Tuscaloosa, Eugene.
Okay.
So
pretty good representation there for
a
the
lot
league.
there. Yeah. 14 of the 16 SEC schools are in regionals. 14 of the 15 programs. Missouri, the only one not to make a regional. Not so good at the stickball thing. Vanderbilt does not have a softball team. So gotcha. 14 of 15, and then
pretty good odds. Just show up in the league, you're going to make it.
Did you see Sovereignty was fined $60,000 over the weekend?
The horse?
Well,
how's he supposed to pay that?
Oh, he'll have plenty of cash coming up soon.
Well, he won't have it. That's what his people should say is, we went to the horse and he doesn't have any money.
Net worth's pretty low for the...
I mean, he says he'll give you a bag of oats.
Did you see this?
No.
He was whipped too many times.
Well, then why is he... So, wait a minute. He's paying for a whipping that he absorbed?
I'm just telling you.
Why don't you find the jockey for whipping Sovereignty and make the jockey write an official letter of apology to Sovereignty? Find the horse. That's ridiculous.
So he got lashed, or whatever the word is, 8 times. 6 is allowed. If it had been 10, I saw you're disqualified. I think I saw that. If I'm wrong, whatever. But he was fined $60,000 for
Does the lash hurt?
Getting I got no answers for you.
Some people, I mean, maybe some horses are into that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was wondering if that's too much.
Don't know.
He has a safe word?
Apparently, yes. That is accurate.
You hate me right now.
It's fine. We're good. Ole Miss men's golf is in Tallahassee for the regional. Women advanced last week to the national championships. Ole Miss, the 1 seed. Really good draw for them. Good course for them. Chris is a former assistant at Florida State, so he obviously knows the course there in Tallahassee very well. That's where he coached Brooks Koepka back in the day. So They just got started, but Ole Miss currently through 6 through 9 holes, they are 4 under as a team, which is tied with USC in second place.
Okay.
The West Coast USC at the moment.
Right. The original USC.
The regional: Florida State, Southern Cal, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Michigan State, New Mexico, San Diego State, Davidson, Augusta, Florida A&M, Georgia, Furman, Northwestern, and Louisville. The teams there in that region.
So how many teams advance
5
to the championship?
to the championship.
Okay.
That is correct. You have to finish top 5. There are only, from a ranking standpoint nationally, number 11, number 3, number 39, number 46, number 15, number 22, number 34, and number 27 are in this regional.
Okay.
So Ole Miss is ranked number 3 nationally right now going into the regional round. And then just one quick note. You've seen a ton of social media. The Giants have done a fantastic job showing Dart so far. Worth, if you're an Ole Miss fan, following the Giants on social, because they've been great at putting out videos and different things, showcasing him through the rookie minicamp.
For those of us that know him, none of it has been surprising.
They showed him excelling on the board.
I mean, you weren't surprised, were you?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I suspected.
So,
I mean, as much as I get wrong, I kind of give myself credit for getting that one right a long time ago. Like I said he's going to him. I told NFL guys, NFL people would ask me, what do you think of him? And it was just personality stuff. And I'm like, he's gonna wow you guys. You're gonna fall in love with him. I remember telling, I won't say the team. It was an AFC team. I was like, I don't know about the football part. You guys know that better than I do. But in terms of personality, the way he'll handle media, the way he'll be with your guys,
all good.
He's going to blow you away.
Mm-hmm. So worth seeing. That is that is something you can follow. They put the video up. He's wearing number 6 right now. Said that he may change, but
it's rookie minicamp. Just hold on.
What did Abdul Carter end up in? Is it 51?
I think 51 right now.
Okay.
Because Lawrence Taylor
he got told no on 56 and 11. He asked for Phil Simms' jersey number as well.
And Phil said no.
Phil said no. I mean, they were all nice about it. Like, hey.
But no, it's my jersey.
LT told him, why don't you just go make your own mark?
It's fair.
Don't.
Would you really want to wear 56?
I mean,
that dude was really good.
Arguably the most notable defensive player of all time.
Yeah, it's like him or Dick Butkus.
And you're in the Giants organization.
Yeah, I don't want to wear that blue jersey with 5-6 on it. No.
I mean, Ole Miss has quarterbacks that wear 10 all the time.
I get it, but college is different because you have 8,000 people on the roster.
Some of the NFL issue when you start retiring all these numbers is there simply aren't enough.
Ginger says, don't we all want to see the meeting with Sanders? Yes. And the rumor is,
I'd love to.
The rumor is the Sanders people have threatened a lawsuit if it's released.
What's the lawsuit?
Chase, I don't know.
I own the footage.
Look, I'm watching the Karen Reed trial, but I'm not pretending to be a lawyer, okay?
All right.
So back off. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, the rumor is that the Sanders people are saying that if you release that, you are doing it to create damage. That it was that bad.
That's great. Okay. Now I want to see it even more.
I mean, I'm told, I have an NFL source. I'll tell you who it is after the thing. Who knows? Who says it is the exact opposite of Jackson Dart's.
Okay.
Dart knew everything. Like, where's the X? Where's the Y? Where's the Z? What's this happening here? What do you do here? Where's this? Apparently Sanders was unprepared.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get back to my my mentions. I'm still getting blown up by Tennessee fans this morning. Oh yeah, we're having a blast together. They're a chippy bunch.
Yeah,
they're not in a great mood right now.
Yeah, that's a interesting fan base. I've really cut way back on Twitter, and it's been enjoyable.
They're big. They're big in their feelings.
Ginger says she wants the Sanders interview more than the Epstein file. Ooh.
I mean, I posted this at 8:20 last night, and it's up to 240,000 views.
What'd you post?
I just quote tweeted the video of Tennessee and Vanderbilt having their little kerfuffle last night. And I said, I for one am shocked Tennessee didn't handle it well. And
Have you and Wes talked about the situation?
Wes actually said, just go to your clubhouse, leave him alone. He kind of was like, hey, go away. No matter who started it. You did, idiot, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Go to your clubhouse. And then his mentions get flogged with, I bet you wouldn't go in there and tell Tony that. It's like, oh my God. Okay. Like, that's what's funny. Tennessee fans are so crazy. They think Wes hates the Vols. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. They think he's a negative reporter.
Up. I know we got to go, but you're saying they think Wes Rucker hates the Vols?
Oh, yeah. There's a segment of the Tennessee Twitter mad at Wes all the time because they say he's anti-Tennessee.
I would guess he sleeps in bright orange pajamas.
No, I swear. You can't please them. Like, if they are not the galactic champions of the universe and everything.
Yeah, but they're not.
I mean, remind me tomorrow and we'll do a segment on Wes Rucker mentions with him being told he's not Tennessee enough and begging him to go cover other teams.
I'm now looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
God, they'd crucify me.
Oh.
I think they're good, but I don't think they're elite. I don't. And if they don't win the game that Doyle pitches, it's over. Night and night. Like SEC teams that I think have a better shot of getting to Omaha over Tennessee, I'd go five deep, maybe 6.
Yeah, I am with you.
Texas, Vanderbilt. I like Vanderbilt a lot. Georgia, LSU, Arkansas, maybe Alabama, Auburn.
Ooh.
You want a hot take? I might go Ole Miss.
In Tennessee?
Yeah.
They were just so much better than everybody last year that it didn't matter.
Yeah, but they're not that this year.
No.
And Doyle's really good, but he's
gettable.
He's gettable. And their lineup is nothing like what it's been in the past.
Yeah. So, all right, more tomorrow. RebelGrove.com, MPW.
All right, here's one to think about for tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
If you had to put your money on one SEC team to get to Omaha, only one. If the gods came down and told you only one made it, which one would you put it on?
Okay. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you then.